Greetings, beloved light warriors. It's Saratoga, and this is your weekly focus card reading for the week beginning January 18th through January 24th, 2021. And if you're new to my channel, this is something I do every Sunday so that we can reset our focus and our energy for the coming week ahead. And then I do my on-camera videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. Okay, let's get into this week. We have 3 cards this week, you guys. Usually I just do 1. But this is going to be a very complex week energetically. I think it's going to be extremely tumultuous, transitional. There's going to be a whole lot going on this week. So I want to start by pointing out the card in the middle, which says, get grounded. And underneath it, I don't know if you can read the words, I'll read them to you. It says, empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. I think this is a very powerful message for all of us because we are going to have some crazy energy this week, you guys, with everything going on in the world. So this is, I think, is a very powerful reminder that we need to, starting right now, we need to be very mindful of our state of consciousness, our vibration, our energy, and the most important thing for us, you guys, is to stay very grounded. This means being mindful of what you are and are not taking in via the media. You need to give yourself some space to yourself where you're not having all these outside influences. I like the fact that this card says connect with nature. Because nature is always grounding, it's always clearing. So I think this card has a very simple message, but a very important message for us. Stay awake, stay conscious, be mindful of your energy, and stay centered throughout the course of this week. Don't let yourself be thrown off by the events happening in the world and by all of the chaos that's probably going to unfold as we go through this week. Okay. That's probably all I really need to say about that card. Now let me draw your attention to the card on the left, because that is probably the main message in this reading. And that card says, share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution, expression. This is really an incredible message for us right now, you guys. So if you see this woman sitting in the cave, now, you can see her body has, it really shows the universe, and it shows in a way she is, what I've been saying lately, a galactic citizen of this universe. On this planet Earth, hiding in a cave due to the fact that perhaps she feels persecuted on this planet. And she's looking off into the distance, maybe looking at her home planet, maybe looking at the stars, at the universe. Maybe it's her particular star system that she's a part of. You get the feeling she's looking longingly at that reality, and there's this big ocean in between her and that truth, and she's kind of hiding in this cave out of persecution. So there are so many ways we can take this. And I encourage you guys individually, if you want to add to what I'm saying for yourself, please feel free to do so, because a lot of times the messages from these cards can be quite complex. So I'm just going to give you one particular meaning. If you want to derive another additional meaning, please feel free to do so. Okay, so here's where I'm going to focus in terms of what this card says. And this card is also, I'm going to connect it to the other card that says soul family in a moment. So here's the thing. Okay, let's look at this in I could look at this in terms of star seeds and way showers and all of that, but I really want to broaden that perspective, because I think we're going to need to expand our consciousness beyond even seeing ourselves as merely a starseed from somewhere else who came to planet Earth to do a particular mission. That may be true. However, I think we need to expand our consciousness to realize that we are part of something much bigger than that. Okay, we are part of, at the very least, a galactic system of life. We're actually part of more than that, but for now, let's just say we're galactic beings. And if we come out, if we share our voice about who we are and what that truth is, we're likely to feel persecuted by the people around us. We're likely to feel diminished, negated, called crazy or whatever. And so there's so much pressure to be quiet. There's so much pressure to hide in the cave of our true knowing. And what this card is saying is, hey, guys, we got to come out of that. We've got to come out of that cave, because what's happening inside of that cave right now is pretty dark. And I think the fact that on this card, the image of that cave is very dark. There's no color. The color is outside of the cave. It's clear that the woman is a part of that outer world, of that more expanded world of the universe, of the galaxies, plural, of the stars, interdimensional life. And we cannot afford to buy into the illusion that we should be persecuted. Do you understand how historically in this world, anyone who is aligned metaphysically with the wider cosmos, interdimensionally in any way, these people have been persecuted forever on this earth? Okay, it's time to stop believing in the persecution. There is nothing going on this planet that is so much better and bigger and bolder and smarter than the truth of who we all really are. This place is in very bad shape. Okay, so, we always talk about leaving the matrix. Well, how about leaving the matrix of belief that says we are the diminished ones. We are the ones that have to hide. We are the ones that don't fit in. Let me talk to you for a moment about fitting in, you guys. Fitting in changes. That concept changes when you expand your consciousness. Let me suggest to you who really isn't fitting in. Who really isn't fitting in are all of the people that do not wish to wake up. Are all of the people, and I'm not trying to criticize these people, I'm really just trying to help you undergo a paradigm shift, a very necessary paradigm shift, so that you stop repressing yourself if that's what you feel you have to do. Okay, let me jump for a second over to the third card on the right, and then I'm going to come back to this, the card that says Soul Family. It says, call in your tribe, you don't have to do it alone. You can take that, I got the feeling that's maybe more of a personal message for anybody here who finds that meaningful. So I'm not really going to focus on the call in your tribe, you don't have to do it alone part, but feel free to take that on a personal level if you are so inclined. I'm just going to focus on soul family. What is our soul family? What is our soul family? That really has to do with what level of consciousness you are at, because your soul family is in the universe, you guys, not just on this planet. All right, this is a universe full of life, interdimensional life. We are interdimensional, multidimensional beings. So soul family really has to do with vibration. So whatever vibrates, it's sort of like a radio station, it's at a certain frequency. So whatever's at the same frequency that you are at is going to be kind of like your soul family in a way, okay? So you want to, I think the reason these things are so connected is because if you try to fit in with the slave system on this planet, and you make that your soul family, so much so that you feel you need to hide in that cave that we see in the first card and not really express the truth of who you are, it's kind of like maybe it's time to break away from that. Maybe it's time to leave that cave and go to a higher level of soul family. Not be stuck in this lower level of soul family of fear and division and anger anguish and just outright, gosh, I mean, people are just distraught. So I'm not a believer that all of this pain and suffering is what's going to wake people up. I don't believe that. I think that's nonsense. I think what wakes people up is to see something better. What wakes people up is to be inspired. What wakes people up is to be in touch with who they really are, which is a much better experience than who they're not, which is a slave. That's not who they are, okay? So I know it's kind of easy to say that the pain and the suffering and the horribleness is going to wake everyone up. This is, I'm not going to get into this too much in depth for this reading. I'll probably have to talk more about this in one of my regular videos, but there's a bit of a religious programming in that idea, okay? You know, we're just so bad, we're such terrible people, we need extreme amount of pain. Like, guys, we're not this stupid, okay? If you need pain to wake you up, that means you're living a very unconscious life, okay? We're not unconscious. I'm not going to affirm all of this negativity about who we are as human beings, okay? Because we are not unconscious beings. We are very conscious beings. And it's time that we start to affirm the truth of who we really are and stop all of this craziness of, well, I mean, how much pain and suffering do you need to wake up? It doesn't wake you up, guys. It just makes you more fearful. It makes you more insecure. It makes you feel more disempowered. That's what pain and suffering does. Okay, that is not the path to your awakening. The path to your awakening is light. I mean, you even see that in the physical world, right? When it gets dark at night, everybody wants to go to sleep. In the morning, when the sun comes out, we all want to wake up. You see, that principle is so foundational. It is so primordial. So if we're going to hide in a cave and we're not going to make an effort to inspire people, you know, then I don't know, I guess we're just going to maybe make ourselves a part of that fear and pain and suffering. So if you want to wake people up, if you want to help people wake up, I'd suggest maybe you try to inspire them. Maybe you try to give them hope, not false hope, okay? I'm not a believer in false hope either. I'm not a believer in, oh, let's just pretend that everything's awesome when we know that it's not, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about inspiration connected to reality, connected to the truth of who we are, connected to our inner being and our hearts. Here's the problem with all of this fear, you guys. The fear closes off your heart. It shuts down the heart. And when you shut down the heart, you can no longer feel beauty. You can no longer feel inspired. You can no longer raise your vibration. Okay, so I know I'm kind of going off, maybe I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but I just think it's so crazy that we feel that if we are metaphysically oriented, if we want to expand our consciousness, if we really are in touch with a larger aspect of interdimensional, multidimensional creation, that somehow we don't fit in here and we're, you know, we need to hide and we need to repress ourselves because people are going to say we're crazy. I don't know how to put this more clearly. But I think if we're going to, let's just put all these three cards together so I'm not going on and on and on about this. I will go on in another video, you guys. But let's just put this all together. Look at the center card. We need to be very grounded. We need to be very conscious. We need to be in harmony with nature. We need to also be in harmony with the nature of ourselves and of who we really are. Okay? That's our center point. I think that's why I was inclined to put this card in the center. From there, we can expand our consciousness. We can start to wake up at a higher level ourselves. If you look at the woman in the cave, that's a wake-up call to all of us. All right, that's a wake-up call to say, stop hiding in the cave. Stop pretending to yourself that maybe there's something wrong with you because the people here might think you're crazy. Okay? It doesn't mean you have to go out and start shouting from the rooftops, you know, whatever your truth is. It means, because that doesn't usually work either, right? What it means is to be who you are and live from that place and radiate that light and tap into the truth of what you know to be real by connecting with your heart. Understand that your soul family is not some weird, you know, out there kind of people who are into weird and out there things. That's how the regular world would like to portray people who are metaphysically oriented. Don't buy into any of that stuff, guys. Who we really are as an expanded consciousness, as beings who are interdimensionally, multidimensionally oriented, who have clarity, who understand energy, who live from a place of energy. We understand these things, okay? We can stay centered there. We can stay centered in the nature of who we really are. That's how we elevate our consciousness to a level of truth, and in such a way that we're not allowing all of the lies that we're being pummeled with every single day to destroy our real sense of who we really are. Okay, so you can actually live in this world with all of the chaos and at the same time not lose your sense of self. It's really a matter of what you emphasize. It's what is your paradigm? Is your paradigm that of the universe at large, or is your paradigm that of this tiny, tiny dysfunctional slave planet? That's really the simplicity of what I'm saying. So if you want to have a tiny little paradigm that your whole world rests on the dysfunction and the slavery on this planet, you're going to be probably quite distressed. That's not true. Your true world is huge. It's magnificent. It's massive. Okay, that's how you want to be oriented. That's the paradigm that is much more aligned with the truth. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you guys. I really felt like when I looked at these three cards, I felt like there was so much information here. So I think I've probably only just touched on it ever so gently, hopefully. And you guys can, as I said, feel free, because there's so much coming from these cards in terms of a message. I strongly encourage you, if you derive anything more beyond what I have said from any of these cards, please feel free to take that in for yourself in whatever way works for you. Okay, so let's go into this next week. Let's stay strong. Let's stay centered. Let's not forget who we really are. Don't let this dysfunctional, torn apart slave planet define you. Okay, that's the final thing I'll say. Do not let this craziness define you. You don't have to. All the rules are falling apart anyway, right? So now is your time to be who you are and stand in your truth, because all of that oppression of you're supposed to be so and so, you're supposed to do such and such, that's all kind of fallen apart. So don't let the chaos mess you up, okay? Stay centered, stay clear, stay connected to the truth of reality and of who you really are. All right, so I'm sending you guys tons of love and light and just a beautiful energy of peace and serenity, and something that uplifts you through this entire week, helps keep you centered and grounded. And I hope you guys just can glide through this week in the beauty and the truth of who you really are. I'm sending you all so much love, and I so look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Namaste, everyone.